in spite of that, our decision was, if we are caught in the traffic in a irregular situation, we can get a big fine. That's the problem. Yesterday, in spite of that, our decision was to have no participant behind. No one participant was left behind yesterday. And we decided to let even those that had not paid for the voucher or fulfilled the form to enter into the bus. To provide you a safe possibility to get out of here. So we apologize for that. The organizing staff made the best they could, but we were facing a truly abnormal situation. We can't face the situation again, so please take the bus, be understanding and calm. It's the unique attitude we can have in a situation like that. We in the South are used to situations like that. They are not normal. They have been in summertime, but you must be calm. So you can help us and we can help you, okay? So thank you for your understanding.
Okay, all right. Actually, thank you, Martha, for giving this reassurance, and I know what it's like. I organized a big conference myself only 3 years ago, and there's always something that's unanticipated and goes wrong. It was in IPSA. In IPSA, we had all of maybe 32 cabs, and they managed to get organized and go on strike when we had the ECPR conference. Okay, so if that could be predicted, then I would really risk my luck with the wheel at the casino every week. All right, now, welcome everybody to this second plenary session of the IPSA ECPR Joint Conference. It is a great honor and pleasure, you decide in which order, for me to introduce Philippe Schmitter, a person for whom I have a deep respect and admiration professionally, with whom I have a very long-standing acquaintance and friendship, which of course I value even more than his. Okay. I met Philippe for the first time at a conference of Europeanists in Washington, D.C. sometime in the 20th century, when I was a graduate student at the Johns Hopkins University, and he was a young and rising, although already established, star in the profession. As a diligent graduate student, I knew he was mostly, I knew who he was, mostly for his work on Brazil and Latin America. So I was wondering, what is this guy doing here at a conference of Europeanists? But then, I've done my reading, and I remember he also wrote on regional integration. And then, at that point, I did, actually, he did it, obviously applying and innovating on theories that everybody at the time considered as having been invented for and only applicable to Western Europe. Okay, that was what we still heard, despite your okay. So it was at that point that I said to myself, okay, now I know why this guy is here. He's here because he knows what political science is all about. Okay, that was my reading. Let me political science cannot be area and system specific. It can develop and prosper only if its principles and methods get wide applicability, even if they are generated in specific contexts. So that was the lesson I learned from Philippe. He doesn't even know he gave it to me. So this is the first time you know this, but anyway. And actually, I applied it. I applied myself soon after when I wrote my PhD dissertation on representation in the European Union, which we still called European Community in those days. And I did it by applying concepts, measures, and techniques that have been developed by US political scientists for the US political system, such as Polsby, Ulau, and Fiorina. Okay, so that is my obviously first impact. I needed to learn a lesson from Philippe. In the next decades, I'm not going to tell you how many, our paths crossed several times, and there were many more lessons that I learned from Philippe, including, of course, how to harvest olives from his groves in my native Tuscany. I had to learn from him how to harvest olives. But of course, the intellectual impact on his work and on my own was constant throughout this period. Obviously, through his impressive public performances, of which you will get a sample later, in one-on-one situations, in front of a cup of coffee in the UI cafeteria or somewhere in the world, and somewhere else in the world, but mostly, of course, through his scientific output. What I have next is a lot of stuff that is also in the program, which everybody has read. So I will not really insist too much on it. Just let me tell you a couple of things. Of course, he's still on the faculty as an emeritus at the European University Institute, where he taught repeatedly before. Of course, he also taught at Stanford. He got his degrees in the US from Dartmouth and University of California, Berkeley, so anybody who knows about the US educational system can draw the consequences. And of course, he's taught here, I'm not going to mention universities or countries, I'm going to mention continents. The only one I didn't find here is Antarctica. So if anybody's interested in having Philippe cover that too, we have to set up an institute. Okay. And of course, I will finish with the awards. Obviously, you all know his great stuff on intermediation, transitions from authoritarian rule, democracy, and democratization in all parts of the world, including Europe, which is the most interesting, I would say, almost paradoxical interest of Philippe's, and of course the awards. He got, in 2007, very happy to say, the ECPR Lifetime Achievement Award, which actually he collected in Pisa at the conference that I organized. And then after that, the award issued by IPSA on the study of European integration, the Mattei Dogan Prize of IPSA, and of course the Johann Schitter Prize by Uppsala University, all in 2009. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, Philippe Schwiller.